Hi again, it's Motor City Hamilton with another Prodigy tuning video. I thought today I would test modifying some of the steering bushings. The low friction bushings are actually much taller than the originals, so they're actually creating a lot more friction with the lubes, and so we're finding we have to switch from 15Ks down to 10s or 5s or even lighter. So I just thought I would try to modify some of these in a couple different ways and then put them on the car and then see if I can get a good result out of it. So the original bushings are good. They work fine. They're just brittle. So I've never had problems on the 12 scale cars. GT12 has such a big foam bumper on it and a big body sticking out there. So I've never chipped one of these on those. So in fact, this set actually came out of my 12 scale car and they're still look brand new. So I haven't had any issues in 12 scale, but in GTR, and I'm hearing the F1 guys are doing the same thing, depending on how much you crash and how hard you crash, they'll chip. And it tends to be, I find it's on the bottom one tends to chip if you clip boards, and especially the F1, the tire sticks right out there. But even GTR, I feel like we're grabbing the inside tire, and it's causing that to chip. So Josh has made the low friction version, and I've spent some time modifying those, and I want to go through that process now. So the new white ones came out. And we've all been working on figuring out how to work with those. And I can make them work with 5K grease. So the new 5K grease is great. I think when I go to a 5K Kyosho grease, it feels a little bit soft. And it seems to just leak out and doesn't last as long. And our 5K grease is good, but I'm also finding that it doesn't quite last as long. So I want to try a couple things. So I thought I'd video it now while I have the parts here. Talk about how I did these, and then put them on a car, and then finish the video that way and show you what's happening there. The goal here is I want to try to make the the bushing a little smaller, so maybe I can go back to running a 10 or a 15 grease, but have the new material, which is more slippery and a better material. So the first method I tried was, and I'm not an engineer, guys. So I work in marketing. I'm an advertising guy, but I've been good with my hands for a while. So I'm a practical mechanic. So I was trying to figure out how to get these to be similar to each other, and they're okay. But I was having a hard time figuring out, well, how do you if you take a Dremel and do them in a Dremel, you're just going to keep going and keep going and keep going, and all of a sudden you're not going to have anything left, and you're going to throw a set away. So I had this old aluminum plate. It's 1.6 millimeters thick. I drilled a 21/64 hole in it, and I just popped I popped it in here and set it on the bench, and then just I have a sanding stone, and I just sort of filed it till it touched the plate, So that was okay. I mean, these are all relatively the same height, but doing this, they're not perfect. And so you could have a little bit of difference side to side, and that's not a good thing. But these are pretty good. I mean, so it's workable. You can do it. You can get them close enough. But then Josh suggested that drilling a hole might be more consistent. So this has sort of reminded me of the work we go through in off-road to take a shock, and then everyone has their hole pattern they drill in the 2 holes are one size, and a number 6 bit, so those days of taking the 3 holes in your shocks and making them different sizes. So I sort of felt like that a little bit, but I wanted to do it in a more safe way, and I wanted these to be as straight as I could, so I did it by hand. I have this little handheld drill thing in a brand new bit. So this is a 1.5 millimeter bit. So what I did is just kind of carefully drill the hole all the way through, try to be as centered as I could, And I also then shaved off the teeth on the bottom. So I started with a Dremel and dremeled off the teeth on the bottom. And then I just have this, you know, a sanding disc that I stuck on, and I just sort of sanded like this until I got them to be very close. And they're all very close together. So I'm much happier with this. I don't know if I've taken off enough material. I've taken off a lot more material in this one, but not quite as small as the stock one. A little taller than the stock one, if you guys can see that. I don't know if you can. But these are taller, but I've done away with a lot of material down here at the bottom. And then this hole in the middle. So I've got to put these in and then ream these. These haven't been reamed yet. So I'm going to try that, see what it does on the car. And if that's not enough, I may do another set of holes through this side. Just trying to remove some material and then go back to using a 10 or a 15 grease and see how that feels. So I'll put them on a car and add to this video and let you know if these do anything that I wanted. Okay. Thank you. I've installed the new bushing on one side of the car, on this side. And I have the, you know, the original stock ones, kit ones, on this side. So actually the ones I took out of the car, I still look really, really good. I've never chipped one on the GT12. I just don't think there's enough power, and when you hit things, you have bumpers or bodies that sort of protect it more. I've never chipped one on 12th scale, only on the GTR. So, I mean, if you have the older brown ones here, you can probably get away with running them on 12th scale and not have an issue. So when I was running these with the 15K grease. So that's what's in this side, is the 15K like I've been running, and it's the damping that I like. And what I've done is I actually added 2 more holes to this. So I have 4 holes, and I shaved off the bottom teeth just to get a little less surface area. And I don't know if I dare go any further. You'd have to plan ahead if you wanted a 5th hole, and you'd have to move them around a little bit. But I just didn't want to, you know, weaken the material too much. But so I did that, and then I you know, 4 holes in it and shaved off the teeth, and then I put them in and reamed them, and I have 15K on both sides of the car now. So I actually think this is a little stiff. It's not bad. I'm very happy with how this feels compared to the full one. It's a little more damping than I like, but the car rebounds nicely. And you know, I see others run this much, and they like running this much damping. So I think this is a winner, but I'm running the really soft black rear spring up here, and because I like how much turn it gives me on this car. So I think with the black, I've got to go with a 10. So I'm going to take this back apart. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'll build the other side now and put a 10 in it so I can sort of feel the difference, and then pick the one I like best. But I guess if I were running red springs, I would probably run 15K in this, just like this. Maybe if I, like the next time I'm at the track, I want to try taking the spool out of the car, taking the gear diff out of the car and putting the spool back in it. But then I need to sort of make the front less aggressive. So maybe if I do the spool with the red springs, this might be the setup. I think with red springs, this is perfect. So you might give this a try. Okay, I rebuilt this side now with the new modified white insert, again with 4 holes in it, and I shaved off that bottom teeth. And so I have 10 this new stuff here. So I have 10K damper grease in this side with a black spring, and in this side I put a red spring on just so I could feel what the 15K and the red spring feels like. And this is pretty darn good. So I think I have my new method I like here. Again, I wanted to do heavier greases because the lighter greases just they don't seem to last as long. They seem to run out the bottom easier. The 10K is pretty good. The 15K for sure stays in there. So yeah, I think this is good. I like it enough that unfortunately now I'm gonna have to go do this on my other 2 cars. Okay, so maybe you guys want to give this a try and let me know how it worked for you. Thanks for watching.